PC builders, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jen McNeely with JWM Designs and Marketing, and in this video I'm going to do a quick pros and cons comparison between my 3 top alternatives to using your home address as your mailing address for your business. In a prior video, I talked about the essential elements needed for formally registering your businesses, and one of those key elements that you will need no matter what state you're in before you can file those materials is you gotta have a valid business address. Now, I've received several questions after that video asking me about alternatives to using the home address when you're filing your registration application in your state. I know that for a lot of you out there watching this video and you're just starting your businesses, signing a lease or renting some kind of space or even like some of these co-working spaces, they're just not really an option at this point. And with everything that's going on with the pandemic, a lot of people, their only alternative is to work from home. And so you need something that will allow you to have the flexibility and that professional look when you're starting your business and you're registering it, and also just to protect your home. My 3 top choices when it comes to picking alternatives to using your home address for your business are a post office box with the United States Postal Service, or a mailbox with UPS, which is the United Parcel Service, that's a private company, or if you want to go for an all online virtual sort of situation, ipostal1.com. And I'm going to go through all 3 of those in this video. Now, before I go and dive into those pros and cons of my top 3 alternatives to using your home address for your business address, let me know in the comments, what are you using for your principal place of business address, and what did you use for your registration? Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so that you can receive updates when I post new content. Now, with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Why now? No matter the size or structure of your business, there are several reasons why I highly recommend using an address that is not a home address for your business. The first and foremost reason is your safety. Most of us don't want to post our home address on the internet for any and everyone to see, because we just know that there are some crazy people out there who would try to use that information to harm us in some way. Just because you're starting a new business doesn't mean that you have to or that you should expose yourself or your loved ones to some unhappy client who says, hey, you didn't do something for me, or somebody who wants to just come to your door to solicit doing maybe some B2B business. Nobody wants that ringing on that front door, right? Additionally, depending on where you live, some homeowners associations or even some local zoning laws prohibit the use of your home as a commercial business if you are in a residential area. And so just to be safe, it's always better to make sure you check your local rules and ordinances to make sure that you can even operate out of your home. Another equally important reason for having a separate address for your business from your home address is that your business address is going to further legitimize your business in the eyes of your customers and potential partners. It provides like that extra layer that you may not get of, that legitimacy, that it's a real business type feel if you're using an address that when someone Googles it, they see that it's in some sort of residential area, Just because you're starting your business in your home office doesn't mean that you have to constantly remind your customers or potential partners of that fact, right? So let's talk about those 3 alternatives. Now, you're probably familiar with a post office box with the United States Postal Service, and you've probably even seen a UPS store in your area that offers UPS mailboxes. What's less known is the virtual business mailbox service offered by companies like iPostal1. Now, I've broken my comparison in this video into pretty much 3 main areas that I think are most important when you're trying to make that decision. That's business registration, the price, and functionality. Business registration. The main thing that you need to consider when you're deciding between one of these 3 options is whether your state allows you to use a P.O. box with the USPS as your principal place of business in your registration. Now, we all know that the starting point of all registrations for your business, no matter what state you're in, is an address, right? Everybody needs one. And because every zip code, town, hamlet, city in the US, they all have a post office location, and most post office locations have post office boxes that you can rent. Post office boxes are a popular choice for startups and entrepreneurs because they're easy to find a location that has a post office box, and it's pretty convenient. But the downside to them is that they do not provide a street address. It's going to say your address for your business is going to say P.O. Box and then whatever your box number is, the city and the state, and then it's going to have the zip code. If your state requires you to use an actual street address and does not allow for a post office box for your registration, then post office boxes are not going to be an option for you. But you could use a UPS mailbox or a virtual mailbox like with iPostal One. Those would probably be a better option for you because with those options, you will get a street address. An address with UPS or with iPostal will look a little something like this. 123 Somewhere Street, Suite 123, some town, some state, and then the zip code. So the second thing that you want to think about is price. Now this is very important, especially if you're just starting out. A P.O. box with the United States Postal Service, the price of that box is going to vary depending on the size of the box that you purchase and the amount of time that you plan to rent that box. Now the boxes with the USPS come in 5 sizes, but you've got to remember that not all locations have every size. But they have usually a mix of multiple sizes from very small to very large. The best size box that you're going to need is going to depend on how much mail that you expect to receive in your business. If it's not a high volume business where you're not going to receive a lot of mail, then you could go with a smaller size box. For instance, I have a P.O. box now for JWM Designs, and I use the size 1, which is an extra small box, and it's about 3 inches by 5.5 inches, and it can hold about maybe 10, 15 letters at a time and like a rolled up magazine. And because I don't, receive a whole lot of physical mail, and most of it or a lot of it is solicitations or junk, I really don't need a much bigger box, but I did need a box. The USPS offers lease durations for the box for 3, 6, or 12-month increments, with the smallest box costing roughly $30, and then it can go up to $106 for the full year. Something else I think you've got to consider too is when you're picking your location for the post office that you want to use, you need to be mindful of where it's going to be. For example, my post office box is located in the city of Atlanta, and I picked a location that has a parking lot. And the reason I did that is because there was another one that was a little bit more expensive because the prices of a post office box can vary slightly depending on the location. If it's a hot location, a hot zip code where a lot of people want to be, like for instance in Atlanta, it would be Buckhead, Midtown, that sort of thing. The price might be a little bit more than if you go out in the suburbs and rent a box for the same size. Now, one of the things I considered when I was picking the location for my box was that I needed somewhere where I could easily get to it, and I needed to make sure that they had parking. Because one of the things I absolutely hate is when you have to go into the city and you're trying to find somewhere to park just so you can run and check your box and come out. And the location that I picked has its own parking lot, so I don't have to worry about that. Also, you've got to remember to factor in the cost of the key for the box. That's usually a one-time fee. You won't have to pay that multiple times, but if you do lose the key, then of course you'll have to pay a replacement. It's about $10 to $12, so it's not very much. Most UPS stores that offer mailbox services are locally owned and operated franchises. This means that the prices for one location may differ slightly from another, and so you'll need to check with each store for the specifics of their offerings. Another thing you've got to keep in mind too, just like with the USPS, depending on the location and how popular that is and how the demand is for it, the price of that box or that address may be a little bit more than what it would be if you went to a less popular area. For instance, for another business that I have, I do use a UPS mailbox as opposed to a P.O. box because I needed a street address and I can't get that with the USPS. UPS offers 3 mailbox sizes, small, medium, and large, and 3 lease terms, 3, 6, and 12 months. They do allow you to pay per month, or you can pay by the year. I purchased a small box, which is roughly the same size of the P.O. box that I already own for my other business. For my small UPS mailbox, I paid $324 for the entire year, and then a one-time $10 fee just for the key. iPostal, which is an online mailbox service, is one of several digital mailbox services that offers access based on the amount of mail that's actually received per month. Now, this is a great alternative if you need a physical address and you do not have a UPS mailbox store in your desired area. The basic mailbox plan starts at about $9.99 a month for about 30 mail items per month, or you can pay $99 for the whole year. The price also varies depending on the location that you select for your street address that you're going to use for your business. Now, the largest plan I saw on there is about $39.99 per month or $399 a year, but that's for 240 mail items per month. So again, it's really all about what your needs are and how much you think you are going to receive and how much mail is going to go through that box before you decide which one is going to be a better option for you as far as price. But I have to say, iPostal definitely wins on price. Lastly is functionality. Now, with all three options, it's easy to set them up and they offer roughly the same services with a couple of additional costs if you want to do some escalated business type services. Now, with USPS and with UPS, you will need 2 forms of government issued ID in order to get the box. With iPostal One, it also requires you to file those 2 forms of ID, but you need to file a form that's Form 1583 because that's required by the post office. So what about receiving packages? Because I know that's really a big important thing for certain businesses. You want to be able to receive large packages. Contrary to what some people may think, you can receive large package deliveries to your P.O. Box location. However, they may not contact you to let you know that your package has arrived. They will put like a notice on your box to tell you to come pick up items from the desk. But if you aren't expecting a package and you don't know it has arrived, there may be some sort of issues with you knowing that you've actually received a package, because I know that has happened to me, which is part of the reason why I got a UPS box for my other business. Now, for all three options, they do offer additional business resources and services, because when you go to the post office, you can mail things, you can copy things, you can get stamps. So it's the same thing with UPS and with USPS. So you can get a lot of those same sorts of services. Also, with USPS and UPS mailboxes, you may or may not have 24-hour access to your mailbox. It really also depends on your location. I know with the locations that I chose for both my UPS and my USPS boxes, I've got access all around the clock, so I never have to worry about not being able to get in the building. One awesome thing about UPS is that they're going to send you a notification of the packages and the mails that you receive. Now, you don't have to worry about, let's say someone is sending you something via DHL or one of the other services like FedEx. You're still going to receive those items. They will still hold them. They will also let you know that you get it. And a perk to being a UPS mailbox holder is that they're going to give you a savings card, and so that'll give you some savings on some of their other services like printing, packaging, and a couple of other things. So that's a nice perk for using their services. I really like that feature because then you don't have to waste a trip going to pick up useless mail like I've had to do several times with my USPS box. All in all, these are all a great option and they're all convenient to use. So what is it that I recommend then, right? Well, so far, I've only personally tried out 2 out of the 3, which is a USPS post office box and a UPS mailbox. But I also have friends who are in business and they have used iPostal One and they rave about it. I think honestly, the best choice is really going to depend on your state's registration requirements, your business needs, and your budget. Now, iPostal is the cheapest option of the 3 and it gives you the most of what the other 2 give you. Plus, it's really awesome that you do get a street address, and depending on your location, you can get a street address in a really nice area, and that's going to be really great for your clients and for potential people who want to do business with you. I think starting out that iPostal is probably going to be your best route to go because you get that street address, you get that sort of professional look for your business. And I know at a lot of these locations, they actually have places, because they're in office buildings, that you could potentially rent, and you might not have to change things if you decide to go from being virtual to actually having a location that people can come to. For some of you watching, you might be thinking, you know what, making this decision about which dress I should use for my business, I can do that later. I'll just use my home address now and then later I'll change it. I'm going to have to disagree with that kind of thinking. For search engines like Google My Business and other listing directories, you want to be consistent with your listing information to ensure that the correct and most up-to-date information is available to current and potential customers. Also, from a marketing perspective, having the option to pick an address with a major city as opposed to a suburb where your home is located can be beneficial when you're trying to attract new clients. When a customer does a Google search for a product or a service provider in their area, they want to see that your business is in that search results area that they're looking for. I'll give you an example. When I started JWM Designs, I lived about 45 minutes west of Atlanta, Georgia, in a city that most people outside of the state have probably never heard of. And although my services, they were virtual and I covered all of Metro Atlanta, instead of using my home address, I used a mailing address, which was my P.O. box that was located within the city of Atlanta limits. And that helped me because people could say, oh, I'm familiar with Atlanta, she's an Atlanta-based business, versus being a business that's located in a town that no one's ever heard of and that's in the suburbs of Atlanta. So let's recap. In this video, I shared with you the pros and cons of the 3 popular alternatives to using your home address as your business address. They are the USPS post office box, a UPS mailbox, and online mailbox service of iPostal One. While each of these 3 offer similar services, iPostal One does get the edge over the other 2 because of the mail scanning abilities and, honestly, the lower price. Your action steps for this video is to look at your state's requirements for business addresses and then find the one that best goes with what your state allows and then sign up for one of these services. It's quick and it's a simple process, and you will be well on your way to legitimizing your businesses for future customers, clients, for potential partners, and other things that you're going to want to do in your business. I've included a link to all 3 services in the description box below just to make it easier for you to kind of check them out and see which one best works for you. Alright guys, I hope that you're finding these videos helpful and enjoyable as you continue to navigate the process of becoming a full-time entrepreneur. If you have any questions about this video or videos that you'd like to see in the future, please leave me a message in the comment box. I just love hearing from you guys. Also, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and all of my handles for those sites are listed in the description box below. And finally, don't forget to like this video and be sure to subscribe to my channel to get alerts when I post new content. Well, that's it for this video. Until I see you guys in the next video, keep building, y'all.